Hi everyone, it's my first video in a while, but today I want to talk about fitness trackers. Online I've seen a lot of discussions and a lot of criticisms about fitness trackers, especially when it comes to maybe relying on the accuracy of the data that they give you. For example, MyFitnessPal can cause quite a few misunderstandings when it comes to calculating calories, working out your macros, or even tracking your food correctly. Now, back when I first started out, a step counter was a little box that clipped onto the side of your trousers and made an annoying rattling noise everywhere you went. We'd use a heart rate strap monitor and we'd have a watch to tell the time, and if you were lucky it maybe had a stopwatch on it as well. These days fitness trackers can do all sorts of wonderful things. They can measure your heart rate, they can monitor your quality of sleep, and they can even grass you up to the government if you've been somewhere that you shouldn't have. But actually, if they're used correctly, these fitness devices and apps can be a really useful tool for sharpening up your training regime. First of all, you've got data collection. It is important to understand what kind of data collection you need to pay attention to. I've been involved in quite a few sports science departments over the years, and one thing that sports scientists love is collecting data. Sometimes too much data. I still have nightmares of Excel spreadsheets and SPSS. But don't get me wrong, because this collection of data over the years has changed the way we train for the better. I even remember Sir Alex Ferguson saying once that sports science was the most important change in modern football. They even tried to use that during a debate at university where we were arguing for the role of sports science. But I was told I couldn't use it because it was only anecdotal evidence. But in my opinion, Alex Ferguson saying anything is like the word of God, so I tried to use it anyway. But I digress. What's important is understanding why you're collecting the data and then what you're going to do to use that data going forward. A few years back, I worked in the sports science department of a Scottish Premier League club. And I can remember when we were testing some of the players, we would collect all sorts of data. We would look at their 505 times, their jump height from a squat position, their counter movement jump height, a bleep test, and we'd collect all the data and put it into a nice neat spreadsheet to hand over to coaches so that they could use that in their coaching sessions going forward. But then I remember one of the players coming back to me after the coach had used his Mark 1 eyeball to watch him during training, and the coach told him that he needed to come and see us because he needs to get faster. So sometimes it's the simple things that make the difference. After all, in football, the most important statistic is how many balls go into the back of the net. The other important aspect with fitness trackers is that they hold you accountable and they can monitor your adherence to your fitness training. Most of these devices can set movement goals, they'll work out your heart rate zones for you, they'll even tell you if you need to go out and complete your steps if you haven't quite made the count by the end of the day. Our online training members can link up some of these devices to their dashboard so that they can use these to check in with us for when they start their exercise sessions, and it can also give us the data from those sessions so that we can use that going forward in their programs. Also, fitness trackers are good if you've got a performance goal, if you're training for a 10K, if you're trying to do a triathlon, or if you're part of a sports team and you have a position-specific fitness requirement. But it's important to know what data you're collecting. For example, do you know what your heart rate reserve is? Is it better to know what your critical power is or your VO2 max? Do you know which heart rate correlates to you reaching your lactate threshold? Should you use your theoretical maximum heart rate or try and work out your actual maximum heart rate? But that's where people like me come in, and we can help you to interpret the data that you've got and what you should do with that going forward in your fitness plan. If you've got any questions on fitness trackers, or if you are new to this world of data collection and you want to know how to interpret that data, we'd love to hear what you're training for and how you're using your trackers. So feel free to get in touch with us anytime or start a discussion here. If you want any more information on how to start training with us, head over to jonesthetrainer.com.